Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Italian Tier 8 Tech Tree Heavy Tank, the Progetto 54. Now if you do like the video, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe down below as it really does help out the channel. And yes, we've got two really nice games in this Tier 8 Heavy Tank, and it's a tank that I do thoroughly enjoy. Since they changed the Italian Heavies, I used to detest the Progetto 54. Why? Because it's still got one of the same problems that I dislike about this vehicle, and that is that the gun feels so derpy at times. And you sit there going, but why? Why do you miss certain shots that you really don't feel like you should tank? Why? But on the whole, since they changed it with the reloads and stuff like that, it doesn't feel too bad, and I do enjoy playing this tank because the mobility is quite nice. The hull down ability of the Progetto 54 is quite nice. The hull armour is actually pretty hit and miss. Sometimes it can bounce a decent amount, and sometimes it doesn't bounce anything at all. So let's say you've got that decent mobility. Your view range is so-so, but you've got okay penetration on your standard, really, but it's the premium that's the bit of a letdown, realistically, with that. But you've got good HE rounds, but I don't take those because of the ammunition shortage problem, the fact that you only get 39 rounds, which sometimes can be a bit of a problem. And there I go. I said the gun is a bit derpy and it frustrates me, and we hit that shot on the move because why not? Thanks, game, for proving me wrong once again. Screw you. So yeah, the Progetto 54, it's got a 45 km/h top speed with a 15 km/h reverse speed. 850 horsepower engine is 17.71 horsepower per ton ratio, which means that the tank does hit its 45 top speed pretty easily, realistically. You've got 28 degrees a second on the hull rotation speed, which isn't the fastest, also not the slowest. It's kind of a bit in that turning circle. A 2.12 soft terrain resistance with a 1.1 on medium and a 1.01 on firm. Again, it's not the best in the universe and it can hold it back a little bit, but it's also not the worst. The 473 meters of view range this vehicle gets is not that great, realistically, for a Tier 8 tank. A lot of the Tier 8s are starting to hit around 486. So, yeah, 473 is a little bit of a letdown. It means you really want to help this tank out as much as possible with the view range, like situational awareness, like optics, to be able to at least try and spot for yourself. 36.49 degrees a second on the turret rotation speed is very, very nice. It means you are way quicker than your tracks, which is good for the vehicle. And like I say, in terms of my personal preference, that's what I prefer. With a 0.75 accuracy during rotation, that's neither good nor bad. It's just sort of which means when you turn the turret and the tank and stuff like that, the aim circle does bloom out a decent amount. With a 2.54 accuracy during movement, that is not very good, realistically. And that means that the aim circle does bloom out a lot. And you will feel that with having a 2.49 second aim time, which is a bit painful at times with how big the aim circle can become. And it's part of why this gun feels so derpy, realistically, on the Progetto 54. You got 9 degrees of gun depression, which is pretty damn nice for the Progetto 54. Means you are very flexible on a ridgeline, and that's realistically where you kind of want to be in the Progetto 54, so you can go hull down, limit how much of your hull people can shoot, and then they can bounce off your turret. Now be careful naturally with the turret armor, as it is pretty strong, but against tier 9 and 10 premium rounds, that's where it will start to fall down, so be careful of that. But that's a very tier 8 heavy tank thing in general, realistically. 0.31 accuracy at 100 meters isn't too bad either, which is why I get frustrated with the gun, because 0.31 accuracy at 100 meters is actually really not bad. But the gun still likes a good derp, and that is just, yeah, super frustrating when it is like that. You've got this auto-reloading system on this tank, which means you want to be playing it as single shot as possible, but when you need to kill something, you can just drop a clip and have that sort of flexibility, which is what you're seeing here. I can kill the Tiger 1 in one clip, now he's taken another hit, so that's what I'm doing. Get the Tiger 1 A18 out of the game with the clip I had. I stayed as a single shot until he was at that point where I could clip him out, and that's when we dropped it. You've got a 14.59 second reload on this shell that's loading now. The second shell that is currently loading as you're seeing it loads at 11.67 second reload with the build that I run, which is atrocious, same as the 14.59. But that final shell that you're seeing here is a 9.48 second reload, which for 320 alpha at tier 8 is not that great. But flexibility. You've paid 2 to 3 seconds on that reload. Well, it's probably actually 2 seconds, realistically, for what a lot of 320s have at tier 8. You're 2 seconds worse off on that reload. But you have flexibility in the ability to do what we did to the Tiger 1A18 and what we just did to that Comet. Now, I dropped the whole clip against that Comet for the fact that he was about to get behind the cover, and so I just dropped the clip. But I could have stayed single shot if I needed to, which is why I like the auto-reloading system. It's just a shame that quite a few of the auto-reloaders are balanced quite horribly. Although I do feel like with the changes that were made to the Progetto 54, it's in the right spot. You've got 220 pen on the standard AP, with 242 pen on the premium APCR, with 1,147 meters a second shell velocity on the standard AP. That is really nice. And the 1,386 meters a second shell velocity on the APCR is also great as well. It's lovely. So as you saw, that first game we finished with the Ace Tanker, the High Caliber, the Steel Wall, 1974 base XP for that 4k damage, 1,400 assistance, and the 5 kills. A really great game in a top tier lobby there on Campbellberg. But now we're into the second replay, and we're against tier 10s. So we've gone from the opposite. We've gone from a pretty nice matchup to a pretty poor matchup for a tier 8 vehicle. But I've talked about the stats of this vehicle. What do I run in terms of a crew and equipment on the old Progetto 54? Well, I run Ball Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, Trap Mechanic, Rapid Aim, the Advanced Loader, the Gun Stabilizer, and Optics. Optics to be able to get the 473 meters of view range so that I can at least try and spot for myself as the view range is quite poor. The Gun Stabilizer to get the accuracy during rotation and movement down as low as possible, and that's mixed in with Run and Gun, Steady Aim, and Snapshot to get that accuracy during rotation and movement and the general accuracy of the vehicle down as low as possible, as especially the accuracy during rotation and movement is really poor on this vehicle if you don't help it. You really want to run that Gun Stabilizer for that. The Advanced Loader to be able to get the best out of the reload on the Progetto 54, because if you don't help the reload, yeah, it's atrocious. With Rapid Aim to make the turret traverse generally better on this vehicle so that it can snap the gun in on target very, very quickly. Again, you could run clutch braking if you wanted to, if you feel like the track traverse is too slow for you. It really is down to you and how you feel comfortable playing the vehicle. It's the same with the gun, realistically. If you wanted to, you could drop the gun stabilizer and run the traction system, and you will go at nearly 50 kilometers an hour, and you will have more like an average medium tank in terms of its mobility. You can do that, but you really will suffer with the gun handling if you don't run that gun stabilizer. But again, some people are comfortable with that. It's down to you and how you play the vehicle. So we've come to this position here on steps. I think I called this Sand River the other day. Mistakes were made. We're on steps, alright? And on steps, what we are going to do, with it being the wonky spawns, is try and get rid of this T-32. Then we can push under the gun line of those that camp at A6, try and spot them up, and clear them out. So we've put around the corners to get rid of this T-32. I put 2 shots in, and again, I've decided to just drop the clip because I can get safe behind this ridgeline and I can spend time reloading. I was hoping to put the T-32 down to a one-shot, and then my team could end up finishing him off. But he's got himself into a safe position, so I do the thing that you never realistically want to do, but we kind of had to because I didn't want to lose any hit points to that T-32. You can see the visible rage wiggle right there as I go, oh, I didn't want to do that. And that is, we fired at our worst reload. We fired at that 14-point-something second reload, which is, again, something you never really want to do in a Progetto. You always want to try and hold out for as long as possible, get as much of this clip in as humanly possible, so that you can try and not lose out on DPM. But yeah, it's just kind of what you're stuck with sometimes. In that situation, I felt like firing and having to wait that little bit longer was probably more preferable to taking a hit from that T-32. So we get a shot into the side of the 48, and this is where the gun is so frustrating. Oh my lord, okay, gun, that is just, you just saw the gun in action. That is where you get frustrated with the Progetto 54's gun handling. Full side of that pattern. Now the first shot hit him in the side of the turret and ricocheted, which, fair enough, okay, it was a chancy shot, okay. The second 2 shots, just screw you, game. Screw you entirely. That is the kind of gun handling that the Progetto 54 can do, and that's where you do get frustrated with it, because it just loves doing track damage only. Come on, gun. You know, it's one of those. We're up to 1323 damage so far, and we could have had so much more. There was a chance he shot on the 30B there, was never realistically going to happen. We're in the perfect place to be against this guy, though. And I'm thinking, do I take the shot because he's overexposing? No, he's fired. He's out in the open, so we put one shot in. And realistically, right now, I don't want to drop the clip into this guy if I can help it, unless he looks like he's going to try and pull back and get himself safe. So we put one shot into him again, drop back, get our DPM, keep that DPM rolling. But the moment he gets to a point where he can pull back over that ridgeline, that's where I'm going to drop, which is exactly what is happening now. He goes back a little bit further, he will be perfectly safe, so we may as well drop as many shots into him as possible, and that's exactly what we did. And that's where I love the flexibility of the auto-reloading system. The ability to just do that, stay single shot. Yeah, sure, we don't have the best DPM in the universe when doing that, but stay single shot to where we need to be, and then when they think they're going to be able to get themselves safe, or where we know we can kill someone, like this ISM right here, we can just go, okay, double tap, finish off, and we secure the kill on that Soviet Tier 8 Tech Tree Heavy Tank. It's just that's where I love the auto reloaders, where I love the theory behind the auto reloaders. It's just that, yeah, balance-wise, they're a bit near. So we have 2 shells left of AP, which means we're stuck with only 2 shells loaded in. Thankfully, the 60 TP puts a shot into the E50. We put 2 shots into him that put him down to a 1 shot for that 60 TP. And now we're reloading all we have left of APCR. Now, you do have to be careful in terms of watching your shells in this vehicle, because, like I say, you only have, what, 39 shells in the Progetto 54, which means that you will have situations like what we've seen, which is why I don't take any HE. Because you'll have situations like we've seen where we fired a lot, we struggled because we didn't actually pen what we needed to, because the gun said, ha, no. And so, yeah, you end up running out of ammo. So we currently keep getting detected every time we poke around this corner. That's the AMX-30B in action because, well, he has good camo. I don't have very good view range, so we're just going to struggle to spot him. So I'm thinking, okay, I can't go around that way. What I want to do is possibly go around this way. Go around this way, drop into that ditch on the other side. That will get me safe, and we'll be okay. The Type 5 Heavy gets spotted, so with APCR load, we might be able to go through his side. We missed the shot, though, as that was an extremely chancy shot and was realistically never going to hit, but there we go. I ping A6 to say, hey, there's an AMX-30B. Well, you know, to say, hey, there's a tank there. You know, I can't do anything about it. We get spotted the moment we try and poke around that corner, but the Murat is poking round, so maybe he will spot the AMX-30. So just waiting for him to get spotted, because no doubt he will fire at this Murat at some point and get himself seen. But, well, it doesn't happen. Then we get spotted the instant we go over, and there goes the AMX-30B, so it's kind of like, what is actually staring at us there? What could have possibly kept seeing us around that corner? Now, the TD could have been doing it, but I don't feel like he was in a position to actually spot us as we drove around the corner there, so, yeah, well, okay. The ISU-152 gets shut down, so there's only 2 tanks left. The 2 heavy tanks that are over in the corner at G0, and the artillery. And, well, Mr. Piggy, I'm coming for that bacon. I want your life, sir, so that you can feed me. We do have to be careful, though, because, yeah, we don't want to die if we can. And there's the Type 5, actually. And the artillery is actually at D0. The CGC, he gets a shot towards us and gets himself safe, puts me down to 1 shot in case I go after this Type 5. And the Type 5 is actually facing towards us. Now, this has got really awkward. I thought I was going to find the pig in the pig pen, but in fact, he's getting found by my team. Type 5 heavy fires at the Brask, though, so I know I can kill this guy. We put 1 shot in, and he gets shut down by the 60 TP. We're going to try and get into a position where maybe we can get a shot at this artillery, but the Murat seems to be loaded, so we're not going to get anywhere near that guy, and the game finishes before we can get any more damage. That was one of those that was like, I can get a really nice... Oh, they're over there. We're taking a big hit, and it just becomes awkward. But we still finished the game with a really nice total. The 4,003 damage, the 609 assistance, the ace tanker, the sniper medal, with the 3 kills. A really great game there for Progetto 54, a Tech Tree Heavy Tank in a Tier 10 game. We'll take that every day. It's just one of those ones where you're going, oh, that could have been a little bit more there if the pig had been in its normal pig pen. But, oh well, we'll take the result as it is. But yeah, the Progetto 54, it's a heavy tank that, since the changes to the Italian heavies, I really don't mind that often. It's just the gun can be super duper frustrating at times, which is something you saw in that replay right there. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
great success.